In general, we're children of the 20th century, and that means that we're drawn to originality. Originality was always the primary draw. It was always the thing that made you excited to see something different, see something that you hadn't seen before. And if you think of like Star Wars and Raiders and Alien and Terminator, and they have the fact that they're original material written for the movies, written to be a movie. We grew up sort of in that culture where we're attracted to things that haven't been told before or seen before. Kind of the beginning where we're like, hey, how about this modern Cinderella whose life is full of drudgery and a crazy family, and she goes off into space and goes on this crazy Wizard of Oz odyssey to learn things about herself. That was sort of the beginning of Jupiter. And I said, what if there are all these people, and I recognize myself as one of them, who at times in their lives are very unhappy with their lives, and then they go on journeys or they go in search of what they want or what they need. And often what they find is they sort of come back to their original sense of home, and they need the journey to sort of help bring a certain perspective to that relationship. And then we thought it was interesting to resonate the idea of this life. So Jupiter lives as this sort of house cleaner, imagining for herself a different life. At the same time, then, she's a recurrent of this other person who was the empress and super powerful, the sovereign, and had wealth beyond imagining. And yet they're sort of both in the same place where they're unhappy. And so this idea came up where we were like, every human society is a pyramid, and some lives matter more than others. You're raised in this class of people that have been taught that it's okay to exploit all these other people, that because ultimately your life is more important than theirs.
I'm feeling the idea of time as a precious commodity. I mean, in my everyday life, it's a very profound idea.
Once we had that, we needed to sort of twist them up because that wasn't evil enough. And we were like, well, that's kind of an interesting subject. What if you could basically own youth and control youth? And, what would be the cost of that? This color that comes in from that kind of low bouncing light. And when the city is this sort of purpley sky and the buildings are still glowing from the city lights, we think it's one of the most romantic and beautiful images of a city we've ever seen. And we had this idea. We took John Toll up to the top of Willis Tower and we showed him, it lasts only about 5 minutes before the sun breaks. And we watched it, and it was like glorious and beautiful and full of purple and indigo and these glowing golds and shimmering, the L train looks amazing. And he's like, yeah, wow, looks great, amazing. What do you want to shoot here? Like an establishing shot of a kiss scene, a romantic moment? What? We got like about 6 minutes. And we said, we want to shoot the chase. We wanted it to be real, so we were flying real stunt people, and we took Mila and Channing up there, and we shot with real live humans, because we think there's just something that you react to as an audience when you see a live human sort of in the jeopardy of hanging from a helicopter that you will never ever achieve with CG.
There's a physics to the human body that we don't feel like you can achieve. Like this chase scene is made by the fact that we have 2 people hanging by this helicopter. You can feel the weight and the way their bodies react and break apart and, catch.
In the history of transportation, every single era or epoch, whether you're talking about liveries or chariots or carriages or boats or cars or planes or trains, they're always a level of exquisitely designed ones, especially the rich people. I mean, rich people always travel in amazing aesthetic style. And so, because this is an exploration of class, we were also curious about the spaceships for the super rich. What do they look like?